I don't think I'll be honest. I don't know. It's a little bit distracting.
Live. Try not to talk over everyone today, Jake.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Easy
Wow, that was live.
There. Easy there, killer.
We decided to pull out the big guns, right? We started live.
Yeah, you know what, Michael? I'm out. You handle this one. You just take this. You take the reins in this one.
That was legitimately the first thing that came out through the
to the speakers, to the live audience, all of the people listening, all zero of them. Okay, as soon as David hops on here, Okay, so guys, games. What games are we playing right now? What's up, Matt?
Oh, games like video games?
Yeah, and Chris, you're on mute, by the way, so I can't hear you if you're talking, bro.
I am not. Well, I am now, but I wasn't.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I haven't been playing any games, unfortunately. I've been reading a lot of books and learning my new job and stuff, so I haven't invested too much into video games, unfortunately. But I want to be.
Andrew, I was going to tell you real quick. One of our designers here, he started designing a site, and then I was like, "Hey, dude, jump on Webflow and see what you can get done on that thing." It's been pretty incredible to see what he's.
Oh, that's so good!
Do. Oh my gosh, dude, it's such an incredible tool.
Oh, that's awesome to hear.
Yep, he's a believer.
Oh,
he's
good. He's been converted.
Yep, he's absolutely Mr. Webflow now.
So what's his name?
Gergely Bata. Gergely Bata. He's Hungarian.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that's great. I'll pass that in. Really I'll pass that along.
Yeah.
We have a channel. If you have anything you can share as far as links at some point, send it to me and I'll post it in the wild channel on Slack.
Absolutely. He's got feedback too. I think he's got some stuff that he was
yeah, we would love the feedback.
Or I'm not sure if I can do whatever. Anyway. Yeah, it's a very interesting product. He's been showing me kind of through it. We watched some tutorial videos together, but it's awesome. It's pretty cool that I remember, so when I first met you online, it was like, oh yeah, this dude works for MusicBed.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, cause we used a MusicBed. And I remember being like, oh yeah, like we know a developer at MusicBed. And now it's like, oh yeah, Webflow. I can't beleave Andrew works for Webflow. It's an awesome company.
Yeah. So. I can't either. Don't tell me, but I don't know how I have a job there. I don't know. I feel really, really blessed, privileged. I don't know. It's been awesome.
Hey, why don't we all start recording? So does everybody have their quick times up? Right. Or the recording studio of choice?
Yes, this is David Haimpill. He's joined us now.
Easy there.
Yeah.
This is my voice for the recording today.
We don't want another accident.
Yeah, well, I was going to say.
Yeah, we don't want another accident.
All of that.
So do we want to...
Only like a third of my my drink, yeah.
Do we want to do like the clap record, or what do we want to do here?
Yeah, we can try.
Yeah. So like, Andrew, lead us off here.
I should switch to this other thing.
All right, David and I don't do the clap method. We're a little more.
Michael, you want to take this one?
Neanderthal.
All right.
I can't even say the word.
I'll count to 3, and then after 3, we can clap.
All right.
So give me a test run, Michael. What's it going to sound like? So give me a test run before we press record.
Okay, it'll be 1, 2, wait for it, 3.
Okay, and so then we'll on the clap we all press record.
Okay.
Yes. No.
Okay.
What?
No. Start recording now and then clap at some point while you're recording so you can line them all
up. What on earth?
Gotcha.
How are you going to clap and click record?
Oh my gosh.
I was going to do it left-handed. Wait. I gotcha.
Everyone press record now, okay?
Okay, I'm pressing record.
All right, I'm recording.
And we are recording.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, there we go. There's all the delays in there for you, Michael. All right, we've got the list. So, David, you were out while we were discussing this. So on Telegram there, we have got the order. So it's going to go David, Andrew, TJ, Chris, Jake, Michael, and then we all together say that intro thing there. I think you can see that. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Third annual. Third annual.
Third annual. Let me edit that real quick, huh?
Third annual.
Welcome to the third annual. Okay, it's updated. All right.
Shimmy, yo. Go.
All right, David, you're good.
Right now, what do I say?
Your name.
Sorry.
Okay.
So like at the thing you'll say, "Hey, I'm David," and Andrew will
Right.
say, "And I'm Andrew," and I'm TJ, and I'll double list. Yeah.
Full names, or we're just saying single names, I guess.
Just do full name.
Okay. Hi, I'm David Hemphill.
Hey, and I'm Andrew Del Preti.
Hey, I'm TJ Miller.
Hey, I'm Chris Gmyr.
I'm Jake Bennett.
And I am Michael Dorinda. And welcome to the third annual
North meets South meets Dad and Dad meeting TJ Miller meets Chris Gmyr, Belated
Podcast.
We did it. I can't wait to see how you're going to line that one up, Michael. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Take it away, Mr. Del Preti.
All right, guys. Well, I cannot believe it's been a year since actually some of us has talked. I mean, maybe just me. Y'all were at Laracon.
Yeah,
multiple Laracons.
Yeah, some of us made it to multiple Laracons. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy. So yeah, I'm kind of the odd man out. I didn't go. Chris, did you go to Laracon this last year?
Yep, I was in the U.S. Just for the first day, though.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so yeah, this is the first time for me to talk to some of y'all in a whole year. So really excited about this. But anyway, yeah, it's been an awesome year for us. Lots happened, and we are going to share a little bit with you about that now. And we wanted to go over the 3 things that we are most proud of that we accomplished this year. So like I said, lots have happened for each of us. New jobs, new ventures in speaking, conferences, houses, and all kinds of stuff. So who wants to go first?
Let's start with David. David's right up at the top of the list. He's the most tired. So I want to get David right, do him a favor. Get him out of the way at first so he can just sleep through the rest of ours.
I'm trying to think of 3 things. Well, I mean, obviously the biggest thing for me, I guess what launched Laravel Nova, which is a moderate success, I guess.
It's 2 out of 5 stars.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5, yes.
Who is generous?
Yeah, and then I got to speak at Laracon AU later. Woo. Not about Nova, but still worked out pretty good. What else is the third? Man, I wish
Your
I would
house, dude. Your house, bro.
I guess I'm in the new house. Yeah, that's true. That's a good
Congrats, man. Yeah.
So cool.
Looks gorgeous. So
it looks really nice. Those
absolutely.
Those floorboards love it. Love them.
Yeah.
Love floorboards.
That's what my wife was saying. She saw the pictures of your floors and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I want that for our house." Thanks. You already gave me to-do list items for my house.
It's a pretty nice little floor, I think.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. It's a beautiful house. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
Cool.
Let's see. Let's just keep going down the list with what we had for the intro. So David, that's you, and then Andrew, you're up next, my friend.
Yeah. So this year was quite exciting for me. I mean, I think it started off with Egghead. I think
I forgot
about that. It was December, January, something like that. So yeah, I had set a goal for recording like 50 videos on Egghead by the end of the year, and I got through like 30 of them. Which was quite the accomplishment. But right at that 30 mark, I started going through, another type of change, which was, looking for work. So back in May, I started putting my resume out there, interviewing and all that, and ended up landing an awesome job at Webflow. I'm super excited about it. I've been there since October 8th, I think. So
that's quite almost the saga, 3 months. Dude.
Yeah,
seemed like you were in the job market for like an eternity. Yeah,
and y'all were there. I think you.
Oh, bro!
Out of everybody, this group was there for me and helped me out. So I appreciate all of you very, very much for that. So,
Yeah, it was super cool to hear your experience, honestly, as like a person who's looking to hire people right now. It was really valuable to listen to your like most recent or one of your most recent episodes in Dads and Dev and just kind of hear about the different ways that people kind of handled you in their interview and hiring process. So that was really valuable, I feel like, for people who are in that space who need to do hiring. Just take away some valuable lessons from what to do and what not to do. Seems like Webflow did everything right, though.
I agree. It was definitely a huge contrast between them and the rest of the companies. So yeah, I think I landed at the right spot, and I'm excited to see what like the future holds with Webflow. So, and if you haven't tried Webflow, go give it a shot. It's free for the most part, unless you're gonna assign yourself like a like a real domain or I think like e-commerce and things like that. But you can go get started and try out the tool for free. Let's see. So like the third thing is I lost 16 pounds since the first, which I'm really pumped about. So thank you. Yeah. So I've been working out at the gym, which is the first year since I was like a teenager, where I actually went to the gym consecutively, like, 3 or 4 times a week. And yeah, I ran 2 half marathons and changed my diet up a bit other than the eggnog I've had like every day since Thanksgiving. So, but I'm keeping off the weight still. So yeah, those are the 3 for me.
That's incredible. I'm actually going to change order here just because I'm interested to hear. So Michael, I know that, one of your big things this year was hitting the gym every day. And it seems like we're like friends on the Apple Watch activity thing, right? And so you killed it for the vast majority of the year. How'd that go for you?
I did. I killed it every single day until I killed my knees. So I think I got to 311 consecutive days.
Wow. That's incredible.
Amazing, man.
Thanks. And so I've been allowed back into the gym now for, I think this is my 2nd week. I'm just about to start my 3rd week. And it's a real slog. It's really slow going. With the injury, I'd kind of, you get down on yourself. You can't do anything. You're kind of just laying around all day. I was feeling sorry for myself because I couldn't help Rhea out, and Eli had regressed in his sleeping. So Eli was, waking every hour, and there was nothing I could do to help because, Rhea couldn't drop him with me so that she could get some rest, because if he got up and needed, if he needed a nappy change or if he needed a feed, I couldn't, get up and do anything. So, that made it difficult. I jumped on the scales after 6 weeks just to see what had happened. And my weight changed, which was good. But I suspect most of that lack of weight change was purely because of atrophy of the muscle in my leg.
Yeah.
I traded that. But now that I'm back in the gym, looking in those mirrors and going, ooh, need to do some work. But I can't really do any meaningful cardio at the moment because I'm still, it's still slow going. It's still about rebuilding the muscle in that leg and getting the strength back up, which is probably still gonna be another 2 or 3 months away. So
yeah.
So
you probably hit like a couple of the things there that was kind of like your 3 things you're proud of. But maybe you could just, since we're already on you, maybe you could just kind of summarize your 3 things for us for the year.
Yeah. Well, number 1 was becoming a father. That was
congrats, bro. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's huge.
That was a real stressful thing for us because Eli was born 4 months early. 4 months early. Jeez Louise. Born 4 weeks
4 months early. Holy crap.
Yeah, he's doing really well. No. So yeah, he was born 4 weeks premature. So he spent 3 of those 4 weeks in nursery in intensive care at the hospital, and it was a lot of back and forth and working from home and driving to the hospital twice a day to visit and feed and, spend time with him. So, we got through all of that, and he's just gone 6.5 months, and we had our first Christmas together. It was amazing, and he's just starting to develop his personality in that. So yeah, that is my number 1. I mean, I didn't really do anything. Rhea did all the hard work. I was just there for the ride.
You did something. I mean, you did do something. Not in 2019, but
no, that was not
in 2018. Effort. Yeah, sure. Yeah, 2017 goal.
So yeah, and that's just been fun watching him grow. And we were, he went to sleep last night, and Rhea and I were just laying in bed watching videos of him and just how much he's grown and changed and all of that, and listening to his little cries then, and comparing them to his roars now. It's Yeah, it's good. So yeah, definitely number one. And then there's like a massive amount of daylight between that and number two, which was running Laracon. Getting that off the
That's
ground.
crazy, man. I can't believe you did that.
No,
Still.
neither can I. And I'm thinking I want to do it again next year. And I'm thinking I was already like well underway at this point last year.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I think
Oh yeah.
because I had no idea what I was getting myself into last time. So I think December, January was a bit early. So I've given myself a little bit more leeway. I probably won't get anything out until sort of February, about next time. So that'll be good. It'd be nice that now I've got all the contacts in terms of media and print and video and all that.
You got those relationships established.
Yeah, we've got the relationships. So we've got some sponsors that I've spoken to already. Pretty much straight away I said, I'd love to engage with you again next year, and they were all on board with it. So now that we've got one under our belt, it might be a bit easier to go and say, we had this many people and we had a great turnout and whatever else. Might be a bit easier this time around. So yeah, looking forward to doing that again. And then number three. Well, number three was my gym achievement, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's huge.
Yeah. So, and not necessarily the consecutive days, but just actually having some meaningful progress and seeing that I was able to increase all of my weight across the 4 core lifts. So the squats, the deadlifts, the bench press, and the shoulder press, seeing meaningful increases in what I could lift over the year. So yeah, those are my 3.
Hey, real quickly, so you have that those like 4 core things or whatever you're talking about. Like, there's a program that you guys use for that, right? What is that?
Yeah, so it's the 531 program, which Matt Stauffer and Adam Wathen spoke about on, I think it was the Laravel podcast.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so you do sets of 5, sets of 3, sets of 1, and variations of that across the 4 core lifts. And it's really good because you measure your progress, what you can lift, what you're aiming towards on every 4-week cycle. And it just makes it easy to measure that progress. And it also, you don't have to go and kill yourself for an hour and a half or 2 hours or 3 hours at the gym every time you go. It really sort of speaks to going in. If you're having a bad day, like if you're tired, you go in and you just do your core lift for the day and then you get out of there. So you can be in and out in half an hour.
That's nice. That's really nice. Yeah.
So, and it's all about just improving on those things. But yeah, that's been a blessing. I mean, I don't have any interest in doing any competitions or anything like that, but just being able to see measured improvement over time is really good.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Okay. Next on the list is Mr. TJ Miller. I'm going to guess what one of yours is, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm going to see if I'm right though.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, this year, I think my 3, I've got like 2 main core accomplishments that I'm pretty stoked about. One of them being like the speaking I did this year out at Laracon US and out at Wave PHP. One of them was like a conference talk. The other one was more of a like half-day workshop. I really enjoyed both of them. I really liked the workshop quite a bit. One of the other about was I started doing a lot more consulting work. Less on the writing code side of things and more on like the coaching mentoring side of things, with a few different companies, but then also kind of jumped into a bunch of work with Honey Badger and ended up putting together a bunch of new integrations, like a generic PHP integration, but then also like a really, I think a pretty great like Laravel integration with that. I'm really proud and excited with like how all that work turned out. And then I guess my third thing for the year was a little bit more at the tail end of the year, as I started putting like a lot more focus on my like physical and mental health. Like I used to be like a pretty serious mountain bike racer, and I haven't done anything in many years, like fitness wise, and like have totally fallen off the wagon. Like a couple years ago, I started running and was running like 3 or 4 miles every day, and then I don't know, I think like winter hit and I just like stopped.
Yeah, in Detroit, in Michigan. And yeah, I can see why you would quit, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I used to ride my bike year round, like in the snow and stuff too. But as I've gotten older, that's seemed less interesting. But I've been the last month and a half, I've been at the gym like 5 days a week,
Wow, congrats, bro.
running and like lifting a lot, which has been good. And then really kind of like focusing on mental health. I kind of like started gearing up after Wave PHP to do the API course, and I just had to like take a minute and kind of sort out life and get my head game together. And I know I've been back at that too, so I'm pretty excited. Like that's like going to be like a big goal for the next few months is get the API course done. But I'm deep in research and writing code for the course, so feeling pretty good about that now.
Very cool, man. Hey, I'm curious for your when you were running 3 or 4 miles or whatever, did you use a program like Couch to 5K or anything like that to get up to that?
No, I used to play soccer pretty competitively for 8 or 9 years. So
many
I
layers.
just kind of like got out and started doing it.
Layers to this, man. The mountain biking, the soccer, all of the skateboarding you've got under your belt. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Mr.
I basically
TJ's the
like
whole package.
Talented. Yeah, he's got the whole thing. He's got the beard, he's got the skateboarding, he's got the tattoos, he's got the AirPods, just the whole thing.
Yeah, I with the running, I just got out and I had kind of a set route that was like 3 miles, and every day that I went out and ran it, I just ran a little more and then walked until I could run again, and then ran a little more, and eventually I was able to just start running the whole like 3 miles. Just kind of worked up to it.
That's cool, man. I really want to do that
that.
for this year. Yeah, I really want to like so. Well, I'll save it for my portion, but I'd love to train actually to be able to like do some sort of running in a 5K competitively, which sounds like why would you do a 5K competitively? That's like one of those like very casual things. But we do one for work, and I want to kick butt this year, so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Good,
one
dude.
of my like I know this is kind of blurring lines between like accomplishments and goals, but like next year I really want to get back into cycling. So I'm trying to like get to it now in the winter. So, as spring and summer come around, I can actually get on the bike and do something.
It's really cool. I remember when we first met in Louisville, Laricon. I was like, we were on Twitter. I was like messaging, "Hey, anybody want to meet up for dinner?" You're like, "Yeah, I'll go." And so that was the very first time we met up at the lobby or whatever. And I remember I had just gotten a new mountain bike, and I was riding with some guys, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I used to ride for like whatever semi-pro." And I'm like, "No way, are you serious?" So yeah, that's pretty cool. That was like a really big part of your life. So that's awesome. You're getting back into that.
Yeah, it's nice to not like get back to it for purely fun and not have the pressure of like
That's
either
cool.
working in the industry or like trying to be serious about racing and just get back at it and have fun with it.
Awesome, man. All right, who we got up next? It looks like Chris, my man, Chris Gmyr. This is your very first time on the show, my friend.
It is.
Your very first North meets South meets Dads and Dev meets TJ Miller meets Chris Gmyr Belated Christmas Extravaganza podcast. This is your first one.
First one.
Welcome.
First one.
Welcome. You even got your name added to the show. Like the members, the initial members don't even have our names in it. So like me, Michael, David, and we don't even have our names in the
His
show.
name's
You have
like
your
one
own
top.
tag.
Me and
What is
TJ,
going
special
on?
shout outs.
I know.
Right.
You guys got to start that other podcast so we can just tag that onto the end here.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And if there's an announcement, you can just feel free to drop it here. But how was your year, man? What are a couple things that you did this year that you were proud of?
It was good. Nothing too crazy, like still at the same job, like didn't move or anything like that. But I guess a little bit out of my usual comfort zone. I started doing some video tutorials on YouTube and on productivity and the app Todoist, and it's really taken off. Went on a little hiatus at the start of the holidays with like Thanksgiving and into Christmas, but still have a bunch of planned for the new year, and just gotta jump back on them. But yeah, getting a lot of good feedback from them. Some good traction show. So just gonna keep on keeping on with that.
Are you going to plan on doing any sort of like paid course for that, or is this just free stuff for now?
I don't know. Right now, I just wanted to kind of just jump into it, try my hand at it, and just be a free resource for a lot of people. Because even if you don't use Todoist or even looking into getting into like more productivity systems or even using any sort of to-do list, like you can just use these tutorials and kind of jump in, and it's a little bit of setup like specific for Todoist, but it's really like how I kind of like schedule my day and tasks and things like that, and kind of like a insider look at how I plan things out and kind of work through the things that I need to do. So I think it's helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah, awesome.
That's awesome. Hey, didn't you write an article for something as well?
Oh yeah, I did a handful of Laravel news articles towards the beginning of the year,
right.
so
Gotcha.
you got to jump on that too. So I totally forgot about that.
I forgot about that. Yeah, me too.
Yep. That's awesome. I thought it was either that or like Hacker Noon or something. I couldn't remember if it was you or somebody else that I was talking to that had recently written a letter from. Yeah,
Laravel News did 3 or 4 of them, and have a couple ideas with those too, but just got off the wagon and got to jump back on and find the time to do all this stuff. Like I'm sure you guys know.
No joke. Yeah, for sure, man.
That wagon's a real thing for sure. If you jump off of it, sometimes it's hard to get back on there.
It's moving fast.
Yeah, it's a train.
Yeah.
Yep. Get off. Might not be able to get back on.
Yeah, and for those of you who have kids, it's like you got to drag your whole family onto the wagon with you. It's like not just you anymore. You just got to like, okay, guys, link arms. We're jumping on the wagon. Yeah. Let's go. It's go time.
Exactly. And those little ones are rascally. They don't hold on for anything.
Yeah.
Michael knows all about that. Those newborns, they are terrible to get on that freaking wagon. Impossible half the time.
Yeah. And it's not even that. It's more so that because Eli only naps for half an hour at a time, I don't really have enough time to start anything.
Sorry.
You have enough time to get out of the room, pretty much.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know. Go and sit down, and by the time I kind of get into something, he's waking up again, and it's time to pick him up. And Ree's got him all day pretty much when I'm at work. So when I'm home, then I try and spend as much time as I can with him. Number one, to spend time with him, and number two, to give Ree a break from, being with a baby constantly. So, and then he goes to sleep at 8, 9 o'clock, and then we kind of spend a bit of time together, watch some TV or whatever, and then we go to sleep. So there's not really a lot of hours in the day, but he's getting a bit better. Especially, we spoke about it on a previous North Meets South, where if I get up at 4 o'clock, it's because Eli's woken up, but he's sort of waking up now, getting a nappy change, and then settling back to sleep for a couple of hours. Good, so maybe that time is coming up now where I can kind of use that hour, 2 hours before I have to get ready for work to do something constructive with my time.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, I cut you off at 1 or 2. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I know you do that stuff, so that's cool.
Oh my gosh!
Wow,
throwing some shade in that first year.
Oh man,
bro,
I like it.
This is horrible. I thought I was catch some
I love you,
serious
Jake.
here. Oh my gosh!
I mean, if Jake was invited to the show, you wouldn't get invited back, so you're lucky.
Guys, I'm just trying to be a good host here, right? I'm just trying to like keep things moving. So if I cut you off, sorry about that, Chris. Sorry.
That's all right.
All right,
just do your Jake. That's all right.
All right, just do me. All right.
Next one is a little bit more personal. I've been doing meditation with the Headspace app, and I'm over 132 days doing different meditations and programs and things like that. Some shorter, some longer, like 20 minutes, half an hour. So something that I've been into for probably about 2 years now, and just kind of on and off, and gotten some like decent streaks, like 75, 90, something like that. But I always like miss a couple days. But right now it's been going strong at 132-ish, and would like to keep that going through this whole next year too.
That's awesome, man. I'd be curious to know, like, so what does that look like for you? Is it because I mean, I suppose meditation means different thing to different people, but is it just kind of like a time is there like a specific method that you're using for that, or is it just like kind of clear your headspace? Or
yeah, the Headspace app is really good because you can go through specific courses on like any topic. So it could be like relationships or finding focus, or they have like little mini daily ones, or really anything like that, or guided or unguided. So if you just want like pretty much a timer and someone says, here's when you start, here's when you stop, you can certainly do that. And I tend to do a lot of the programs and courses, but sometimes I just get into it and let my mind just kind of ramble on things, and it really helps kind of clarify things, both with like work and personal, and kind of clear those thoughts, and even kind of clear out some of those thoughts too, so I can kind of get back into work or refocus on family or anything like that. So it's been a pretty good experience, I think. So
nice.
I've heard a lot of really good things about that app.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this? Ree has this app when she goes to sleep to help her like clear her mind. Because when you go to sleep and your brain starts going 100 miles an hour, thinking about the day, thinking about tomorrow, thinking in her instance, if I go to sleep now, I'm only gonna have to wake up again because Eli's gonna wake up. The other night she was using this app, and then I get belted while I'm asleep because I fell asleep before her meditation thing had finished. She's like, how do you go to sleep before the app's finished? Oh, I can't help it. I roll over, I close my eyes, I go to sleep. That's not my fault.
Oh, poor Michael.
She clobbered me.
Australian women are abusive, I believe.
They are. Not as abusive as men, mind you.
Nighttime meditations, I think, are a little bit different. I don't necessarily count those because I do the same thing. It's like 5 minutes into it, like I'm done. So I usually do them like first thing in the morning, like when I wake up, or maybe like come back from the gym before I have to get my son. Even like maybe coming back to work, like right after lunch or something like that. Like it's really helpful kind of mid workday too, just to kind of separate and kind of get back into work or whatever flow that you're getting into. At night is really hard because, like you said, you just fall asleep, and which can be helpful, but gotta do the other ones too.
Yep. Okay, so I don't remember if that was 2 or 3. So I'm going to give you
my last one was real quick. We just paid off a ton of debt, so we are now debt free except for our mortgage. So that was like 6 school loans and home improvement loan. So that's going to be some good savings going into the new year.
That's awesome, bro. Congratulations.
So nice, dude.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yep.
Thanks.
Hard work. All right. I will go here. So 3 things I'm proud of. It has been like a crazy 2018. I feel like it's been one of those years where it's just sort of like survival mode, which may sound a little bit weird because I haven't had anything particularly like hard and like that I can think of specifically. It's just been a super busy year. Like one of those years where I feel like life has just been like coming at me and I've just kind of been like dealing with it as it comes. So like looking back at the year, like it's hard for me to like, oh, I set these goals and I did this. So that feels a little bit sucky, but I did do some cool things this year. So when you said paid off some debt, Chris, that reminded me we did get some credit card debt paid off, which was really cool. And so we have no credit card debt at this point, and all school loans are paid off. Now we're working on vehicle loans and things like that. So, so that does feel good. And I'm kind of like, again, blurring goals and accomplishments, but that's going to be one of our big focuses for 2019 as well. It's just continuing to kind of work on that debt, chip away at that. It's interesting. Like it seems like there's a couple people that I know of kind of in the community that are working through that right now. I just read Paul Redman's 2018 post, and he said he's doing a lot of that, right? Like chipping away at debt and only has a couple things left to go. So that's really cool. I ran a 5K this year, which sounds like not a huge deal, and it wasn't a massive deal, but that was really cool. It's something I've wanted to do, and I've just kind of put it off. Our work sponsors a 5K every year called the 5 Chaos, and all the proceeds go towards like addiction recovery services and things like that for people in the community. So it's like one of those like Tough Mudders or like Spartan runs where it has like, a bunch of obstacles and stuff. So that was pretty cool. I got to do that. I finished like 4th in my age group, I think, which was awesome. But I want to get first in this next year. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is like get first in my age group in the competitive bracket. And so that's kind of why I was asking about that, TJ, is like the running those 3 or 4 miles. I figured like if I start training like couple months ahead of time, something that kind of like increase my speed or whatever, so like I'm not dying the entire time, which is what it was this last year. It's just dead the whole time. Like, you know, after you run a mile and then hit a couple obstacles, you're just like totally winded. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I should throw in some different types of workouts too. That's a big key, like throwing intervals or a tempo run, or do some long distance at slower pace, and that will really get you in shape.
Yeah, Andrew, you're a big runner. Did you do some running this year? Like did you do a full marathon?
I did 2 halves. I mean, I guess put together they're a full.
Yeah.
I haven't ran a full since it's been 6 years. Yeah, I was just talking to my wife about how I'd like to run another full marathon. So it's been a while. So I think this next year, a goal, we'll see if it happens, is to run another full, which is a big time commitment. Unless you're just like crazy good shape and you could just pull one out. It takes me like 4.5, 5 months to train for one.
Gosh, yeah.
Like when you start getting into the third month, third, fourth month, you're running like 18 or 20 miles on Saturday. It takes a couple, like 3 hours or something like that, depending on how fast you are. And the time you get done, like recovering and doing all that, it's a lot of your day.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, so it's just hard as crap, but I like it though. It's one of those things that I like to try to do and get you in good shape. And so I might try to do it in San Francisco when I'm visiting Webflow.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Possibly in July. So it's perfect timing for how I want to do my half marathon in June. And that could be part of my training plan. And then I'll go into the full marathon in late July. So yeah, man, I've never done a tough mudder or any type of Spartan obstacle race or whatever, but I've wanted to. Sounds really fun.
Yeah, this one was, I mean, like I said, it was only 5K, right? But I think there was like 20, I think it was like 28 obstacles. It was insane.
Oh yeah. That's more than a 5K. All that. Geez, that sounds very tiring. Yeah, you got fourth though. That's incredible, man. If for not doing it often, that's pretty amazing. You probably could get first if you trained harder.
I think that's the only reason I actually was like, I might go for this, because I looked at it and I'm like, man, if I got fourth, like maybe I could get, now obviously there's a lot of people in like younger age brackets who just smoked me, right?
How many people were in your age bracket, Jake, before we get too excited about it?
And how old are you, Jake? Like
Michael, just take it easy. Take it easy there, dude. Who cares that there was 5 people in my age bracket, okay?
That's like winning gold at a jiu-jitsu tournament and there's only 3 competitors.
Right. That's like when I was in high school and they would ask for people to like do wrestling because there was like less people in the weight bracket that they just wanted points. They're like, if you lose every round, you're going to get bronze. You're going to get points for the team, right? Or you get third place. Dude, I got roped into that a couple times. Word. Me out there in a singlet, having no idea what I'm doing. They taught me like 3 moves and they're like, all right, you're good. Go get destroyed.
Was it one of them an oil check?
What's that? Like, what's that? The oil check? Yeah, they taught me the oil check. Dude, it works like a charm. I pinned somebody with the oil check.
Oh gosh.
I did it on the wrong side though. I got a penalty. So is there a different word for that? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. Dipstick? Maybe? I'm not sure.
I could throw out some candidates, but it wouldn't be appropriate for this. We'd have to edit it out.
Yeah. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So anyway, I'm not answering Michael's question because screw you. But I was proud of myself, and that's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter how many people there were in my bracket. I did better than, I think I was in the top 25%, right? So it was like, I don't know. It was probably like 20 people, 25 people in there.
Nice. I certainly wouldn't. I have no intention of ever running again. Not with these knees. No more basketball, no more running. And just bikes and elliptical for me.
There you go.
Ever?
Nah, it's just not worth. I mean, I never ever enjoyed running. Yeah. And the only real running I did was basketball. And now my body's not very happy with that situation. It was more the jumping, really. If I could play basketball without jumping, maybe I'd be okay. But no,
I bet you could just do wheelchair basketball.
Yeah. No, I've made the promise now to not. Ree told me that I reneged, that I wasn't gonna, if I injured myself, and then apparently I changed what I said to if I injure myself again, and so I'm sticking to it this time.
There you go.
I'll just turn into a beefcake, and next time I see you, Jake, I'll be able to bench press you over my head.
All right, let's do. I don't know. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah,
we're gonna try this.
Oh.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh?
I'm between 175 and 180 most of the time.
Okay.
All right, so it sounds like at the next Laracon we're gonna have a bench press Jake rep contest.
Yep, I'm down for that. I'm
Yeah.
down for that. Didn't Adam Wathan do that? Who benched pressed
I don't
somebody?
know. I know that there was talk that he was going to. I don't know if he ever did. 80
Oh,
kilos.
man.
That's okay. I'm at 75 now, so I reckon I could get you up for one rep.
Yeah, I can get Jake up.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
just
way. Come on.
Really, Andrew? Dang, son.
I can put you up. Yeah.
But how would you get the grip? That's what I'm wondering.
I know. Yeah, it'd be weird. I'd be oil checking him from the back.
Yeah, well,
I'm
oil
gonna
check.
have to start doing planks. Just get my restraint so I can be real like solid for you.
Yeah. I put up. Let's see. I didn't get to my goal of benching 265 the time the year was over, but I did get.
Holy crap!
I got 185 up 6 times.
Bro, there's no way I could ever do that.
25 up once, and 205 up 3 times. I think that's what it was. Yeah, not too bad, but yeah, 265. It just
not too bad.
No,
that's incredible, man.
Short arms. I have short arms and big pecs. I don't know. Probably why. I just bounced off my chest.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll finish my 3 things here. Okay, so I had the 5 chaos. So one thing that actually took an enormous amount of time and energy was hiring this year. So, and it wasn't a developer; it was the designer. So, went through a lot of applications, went through a lot of process to get a designer, and the guy that we got is literally just incredible, just an incredible designer. So I was super proud of that. He does really good work, and it took a lot of work to find him, but I was really, really stoked to add a really good designer to our team. And he's the dude who's using Webflow now, Andrew. So yeah, pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so that was a big
Dribble or anything. I could check out his stuff. Not
he's
Webflow
just
stuff.
he's just started Dribble. Yeah, I got him onto that. I was like, dude, you need to get this on. Get on here. He was on Behance before.
Yeah.
And still has some stuff out there, but yeah, I'm kind of converting him over to Dribble. And he hasn't done a whole lot of UI or like web stuff. Like he's done a lot of design, but not like a lot of that. So he's really getting into that now, and he's definitely got a knack for it. So
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll have to share that link with you. The other thing that I'm really proud of this year is I spent a good portion of the last couple months working on sort of like a side project for my company that I do like 20% work for. And that was a really, really fun project. It's my first project that I've used Laravel Nova on. I used a ton of Vue stuff, and big shout out to Mr. Hemphill for all his help with Vuex. I can't even tell you how many times I reference your I don't know if it's a secret, Push Silver Next, like your SPA Vue stuff. Yeah. I just use that to kind of like cheat off of like, okay, how did David structure this? Like even I have we're using some Vuex stuff at work right now to do like a little mini SPA. And I'm working with my other developer and like, hey, let's see how David did that real quick. I'm gonna go over to Push Silver Next. And be like, oh, okay, that's cool. All right, so he's got that router there. He's got a views folder. All right, that's interesting. All right, so it's a good point of reference just for like having to see how somebody else structured an app, and it's been incredibly helpful. So that was really nice. Got to use a lot of that. Did some really cool stuff in there with state machines. So yeah, it's just been a really great project to learn a lot of new things that my normal job doesn't necessarily afford me anymore. My normal job has kind of transitioned into being a lead developer, and so as a result, I don't get as much time to kind of experiment with some of the fun stuff that I used to before. I have to kind of delegate some of those fun tasks, and so this is a great way for me to do some of that. So yeah, that launched, and it's still kind of in like, I'd suppose you'd probably call it like a beta version. But I'm really proud of that, and still working on it and hacking on it, and it's been pretty cool. So that's probably my number 3. Yeah. So
cool.
I think we wanted to kind of transition into. We said like I know like right at this point right now we are at about 39 minutes. So we have a couple options. We could go into like a book you read or a movie you watched or something like that, or we could just kind of talk about a couple of those favorite things this year if anyone wanted to volunteer those. We could talk about goals for 2019 if anybody wants to share any of those, or we could just jump into trivia. And do we have any votes? So we could do the book you read, movie you watched, goals for 2019 or a trivia game. Any votes here?
I reckon
like
if
the
we do
book
the
you read.
first two quickly, then we can do the third
Yeah.
one as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's do book and movie then. And give us like just a quick summary of either of them. We can start at the top again if we want. With David, if you're ready. No,
Shaking his
not
head.
David.
He's
I
like,
don't know.
Does
I don't
anyone?
know if I read a book.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anybody
I'll
want to
kick it off.
volunteer? Yeah, TJ, go for it.
Books. I'm not really much of a book reader.
I remember this from last year. Yeah, you told me
Yeah,
that.
that's speaking of goals, that's one of my goals for next year is to actually start reading some more books. My son is getting super into reading. He's like just starting to learn how to read now, and he's all about
That's
it.
cool.
So I'm gonna try to get into it as like part of a goal for myself, but also like something that we can kind of do together that I think he'd enjoy. But the book for this year would be Refactoring UI.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I bombed through that book in probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was fantastic. I think it's probably one of the first books I've ever read cover to cover in since high school.
Right.
So that was I think the only book I actually read this year, but it was also like invaluable. There's like it was so much great content to like shove into my brain now, but then to also have the book as like a reference point going forward.
Absolutely.
Like anytime I do anything, it's like you can just page to it and be like, oh yeah, like this is how I solve that problem. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then go for it, dude.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like I'm totally with you on that. Like the fact that it's a reference guide. Like some people had a hard time on the price, but it's so much more than just a book. It literally is like a set of standards that you could give to pretty much anyone, and you would. I mean, I don't really know of anybody who looked at it and was like, I don't really agree with that. Like most of the principles are like, yeah, like totally. I think that's a good idea. And so it's especially helpful for people who are developers who I think one of their taglines was like, they were talking through how you can do it with patterns rather than like it just being like an eye thing, right? Like so many people are like, oh, like to know design, like you just have to have like this artistic flair kind of thing. And like the Refactoring UI book really kind of brings it down to like, here's some patterns that you can use that are reusable that anybody can use. You don't have to be a designer. I'll stop rambling, but yeah, I agree. It's a really, really good book and a great reference.
Yeah, I'll just jump in there because I was the same as TJ. That's pretty much the only book I read this year. I did get 2 more that I want to read. The year's not over yet, but Refactoring UI, and I've already referenced back to it on a few occasions. My only worry now is that instead of making all of my sites look like Bootstrap sites, they're all going to look like Steve Shoga sites.
True story.
I mean, is that really a bad thing though?
It's not.
Well, only until they all look like Steve Shoga sites.
True.
I mean, that feels like a much better internet to me.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, and movies. Like I don't think I've watched like a movie for grown-ups this year. I think it's all been like kids movies. And so I guess out of all of those, I'd have to say Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh, nice.
Like the new Wreck-It Ralph. And one of the reasons why is I think they did such a good job. Like my son was entertained the entire time, but also as someone who like is on that cusp, and I think we all kind of are on that like cusp of like we remember before the internet, but it was also still like early enough to play a really influential part of like our childhood and like clearly up to where we are now. There were so many like little Easter eggs of like early internet and like kind of I had like a lot of like inside laughs, especially being like a developer who works on the internet, of like little like Easter eggy things they put in there, and I thought it was fantastic.
Cool. That's awesome. Very cool. All right, who else wants to jump in here?
I hit my goal of reading 30 books for the year.
No, you didn't. 30 freaking
I did.
books. Me.
Yeah, and
Holy
most of them are
hell.
novels.
And he doesn't read baby books either. I've seen this.
No, these are all novels.
These are real adult books.
Yeah, other than one book? Oh, 2 books. So I read, most of them were science fiction or fantasy, and then I read a couple of like leadership type of books, and development books, but they weren't very long. But I have a love for fantasy and sci-fi. So I think my favorite fantasy sci-fi type of book was the very first one of the year. I've read some really good ones this year, but it was called Children of Time. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the author's name. It's kind of crazy, but it was intense. And I would say it's probably some of the most brilliant writing I've ever read. It was amazing. Yeah, you got to check out that. I mean, if you want to read some really interesting stuff, just the storyline is really, really good. And so yeah, that was good. And then maybe like non-sci-fi fantasy, I read Radical Candor, and that was kind of so for work / just myself. And so one thing that we do at Webflow is something called 10% time, kind of taken by Google's 20% time. And we were able to like pick something to work on or read or just improve ourselves. And so I picked reading Radical Candor because it's something that seemed like everybody in the office was reading. And so yeah, it was really, really good, and I took a lot away from that. And I guess that's it. I don't think I actually watched any movies this year, which is nuts. We don't have a movie theater here, so nothing new. But I don't know if we've rented anything. I can't remember. I think Incredibles 2 maybe was one that I loved it. It was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I really want to see Ralph Breaks the Internet, but I'll have to wait till it comes out. But gosh, that's the only thing I can remember. So
yeah, awesome. Radical Candor is on my like reading list for next year. I think it's like one of the first ones up on the list. Like it sounds really good. I think Phil Zangel, I don't know if he posted it on Twitter, but I know he posted something on Instagram about like his reading list for like the new year, and he had a couple on there that like instantly went on my list, and Radical Candor was one of them as well.
Perfect. This one was really good because it just had a lot of real life examples that she had given from Google and Apple, and I thought they were just awesome just to learn from. So I like the whole concept of Radical Candor and just developing relationships with people before you critique or you bring confrontation. The big thing with it was caring personally before challenging directly. So like care for that person, show that you honestly appreciate them or understand them, that you're listening to them. And then you can, when you get to that spot and develop trust, you can, bring up some of the hard subjects or things like that. And then the other flip side of that is even to give adequate praise to somebody, like instead of just kind of giving like a generic or blanket praise, like, hey, good job, you did awesome at that conference or whatever. Like, if you get to know somebody, you can really make it valuable, saying that they did something good because you know them and you took some time to invest and learn what they were actually saying, or how they improved personally. So yeah, I really enjoyed that part of the book. So
I read that one too, and I'd highly recommend that as well. And I thought it was also good on like the manager side of learning how to accept feedback and make it like an open environment to receive feedback from the people who are working with you. And again, she gave some really good examples of how to do that. So definitely a must read for next year.
Andrew, by the way you pronounce that is Tchaikovsky.
Is it kind of like the composer?
The composer, exactly like the composer.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
very cool. Hey, the audio version is really good, TJ. If you want to check that out, you mentioned it in the chat for Children of Time.
So like I've got a lot more time on my hands to like get through audiobooks, especially like I found that one thing about running is that like I think it's I feel like it's a good time to like get through audiobooks like this. Like not so much like, so like if you took Radical Candor and you tried to run to that, I think it'd be pretty frustrating. But totally. Like running to something like a sci-fi book, I think is like pretty good.
Totally. Have you just? I know we're going down the book lane quite a bit, but have you listened to or read Red Rising yet?
Oh my gosh!
I think before you do Children of Time, do Red Rising. I think it's more like action pack and like really good. This is more like introspective. I don't even know how to say it. This is more brilliant than Red Rising in the sense like the concept of it and the writing. But Red Rising is more like action packed and like emotional. And
did you read the Golden Sun one this year, Andrew?
Yeah, I did. That was top as well. Very, very good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was freaking mortifying in some area. I don't know, maybe not mortifying is the right word, but it was like made me feel really uncomfortable in spots.
Yep.
It was just like, dang, they took it to another level in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the start to another series. So I got to the end and I'm like, wait a second, they didn't wrap it up. What the heck? And so I thought it was like the fourth and last book. No, it's the fourth of 4, 5, and 6. So
that's cruel.
But it is cruel. It is cruel.
Yep.
I'll jump in here. So a book I read, I read a crap ton of books. As far as like, I read a lot of fiction books this year, and I read a lot of leadership books this year. If I had to pick top leadership book, I really liked Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Dude's a freaking boss.
Oh man,
he's amazing.
I want to read that.
I'm all like Jocko these days. He's the man. I tried to get Taylor to bring Jocko in as a keynote speaker for Laracon this next year. I thought it'd be pretty cool. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think half people know who Jocko Willink is, but anyway, that was a really, really good book. He was in the war in Iraq, in Ramadi, Iraq, and he basically just talks about the leadership lessons he learned while in combat there. So it's him and Leif Babin, I think, is the other dude who kind of is the co-author with him. So I did the audiobook version of that, and I burned through that thing, and then I'm going through their second book, which is Dichotomy of Leadership right now. But they're really, really good, really, really good books. I'm not going to there's a lot of things there, but basically the extreme ownership idea is just like, don't make excuses, like own the problems, make them yours, like don't blame other people, take ownership of it, and then solve problems. Right. So it's a great book. I started reading the Calderon series this year, which is good. I'm on book 4 of that one right now. It's like Furies of Calderon, I think is like the first book. But I'm in like Fury or like I can't remember. I think like Captain's Fury or something like that right now. Anyway, that's a good series for fiction. That's been really interesting.
Cool.
And then movies. The only movie I watched this year was A Quiet Place. That's the only theater I went. That's the only movie I went to see in the theater for those like adult thing, and that was pretty good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was good. I wanted to see it since I saw the trailers. And yes, of course, we want to see how to say hi, Eli. Go grab that boy. And then I think that like for me, the thing that I really enjoyed and I'm kind of into right now is so Making a Murderer season 2. Any of you guys watch that?
No.
I think I'm about halfway through it.
So season 1 was brutal to watch. Season 2 was almost worse. I think it's a very interesting perspective on like the justice system. And then I'm listening to Serial podcast season 3, which is a very, very similar sort of idea. So just this whole concept of people being basically wrongfully accused and convicted and whatever. It's very, very interesting. It's been.
Oh man! So season 3's come out of Serial, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Put that on. It's been a long time. I never found out what happened to that guy. If he like made it out, don't tell me.
I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah, I won't say anything. Anybody who's listening or watching on YouTube, we're gonna take a quick break here and say hi to the amazing Aussie baby.
Oh man, so cute.
Look at him up there. Say hi.
Hey baby.
Hi.
Oh my god.
It's this one.
So cute. Oh, it's smiling.
Wow.
He's never seen so many handsome men at one time.
I know. It's like, Dad, how come you can't grow a beard like those guys?
Hi, big boy. Hey, buddy.
Oh man.
Hey, buddy.
I'm just freaking out.
I know.
What is this?
Yeah.
We're good.
He only knows my face behind a mic.
Having fun there. You're getting ready for a nap, aren't you? Sleepy.
Good man. He's looking big, dude. He's getting
He's
big.
getting big. He's 7 kilos now, which is, I guess, 15 or 16 pounds.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. Start curling him, bro.
I have. I have to send a video after of me curling him.
Hi, Ree. By the way, I know she can't hear me. Well, hi, Ree.
Bye, guys.
See you, buddy. Bye, big boy.
Good eye, mate.
Good eye,
Pretty
mate.
good. Good eye, mate.
Yeah. So that was me for books and movies and / podcasts. So yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Who else? Who's up? Let's see. David or Chris? I think it's you or Michael. David or Chris or Michael?
Go, Chris.
I'll take it. Cool. Yeah, we're terrible with movies. We usually just catch up on series and things like that because we can never figure out what to watch because we have completely different interests. But I think towards the
my friend.
yeah, it's tough. So it's like we could either argue for an hour to figure out what movie to watch, or we could just watch something else.
Mm-hmm.
That was my night.
Kind of like,
That was my, like we have like this is, and I know I'm cutting you off again. So like stereotypical Jake, American Pickers. Like literally, that's like the default show. And like we had this discussion. We looked for something for like 20 minutes. Like screw it, American Pickers. Like I hate this show, but it's the only thing we watch all together all the time. Like oh, sorry, I'm done.
yeah, you've been going through Friends on Netflix.
Futurama. That's always the default.
Nice.
If no one can make a decision, we're watching Futurama.
Nice. But we did watch Black Panther, which was really good. I'm sure most of you guys have watched that.
Oh yeah.
That was really good.
Very good.
I don't know if that actually came out this year, but I don't know. We watched it this year. Again, terrible with movies. But a book, I've actually read a bunch of books this year between like reading and listening on Audible. My initial goal was 20 books. I got 28 right now and might be able to finish up 2 more. So we'll see. But I really liked Essentialism. I read that earlier in the year, and it's pretty much just about going through life and just making decisions and figuring out what is just more important, or essentially like what is essential to your life and interests and family and career and things like that. Because too many people just say yes to so many things out there. So being able to see a new decision kind of coming through and just figuring out if it's viable or not, or if you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to another. So just being able to weigh those pros and cons and decisions and figure out what is most important to your life. So I've been doing a lot of like that sort of reading and minimalism and things like that. So it's been really eye-opening in a lot of occasions.
Yeah, I just added that to my list. That's definitely something I suffer from quite a bit. So we'll
and we were talking about that. We were talking about that too.
Yeah, I've been I've come to the realization over the last couple days that I deal with like 2 core types of like paralysis, like analysis paralysis. Like I don't default to action. I default to like trying to think through like outcomes, and like I need to start defaulting to action rather than like defaulting to like thinking about it. And how did I describe the other one? Like priority paralysis. Like when everything's a top priority, nothing's a priority.
Yeah.
So like I think this book, I think this like book kind of, I don't know, maybe sounds like that kind of helps get through some of that.
Yeah, I was like reading this article recently. It was about like Abraham Lincoln, I think was what it was, and it's talking about like how it was like basically leadership principles we could extract from like his life or whatever. And it's like one of the really important principles of a leader, or characteristics of leaders, being able to tell not only what's really important, but what's really not important, right? Like being able to figure out which things not to do, like what things are yeah, they're important to somebody or to something, but like they're not necessarily important to me, or like I have to deprioritize these things. It's a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you have a family, doing the essential things is very, very important. You just waste time and lose what's valuable.
Yeah.
It's trying to figure out also like what's valuable in between, like, you know, things that you want to pursue for yourself, but then also trying to balance like what is right and like what you want to also do for like your family, and being being able to support them, and then also support like the things that they want to do individually as well. It kind of gets like real muddy. It can be a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we got David and Michael.
You got anything there, Dave?
Yeah. I was thinking a little bit more about the whole book situation. Cause, like TJ, I don't read a lot of books, but I desire to. But I did pick up Pooter, the old Pooter book.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got through about 75% of that before vacation was over. And was reminded of a lot of the simple techniques for writing object-oriented software. Even though all the examples are in Ruby, it almost is like better that it was that way, because Ruby almost can read as pseudocode too. So the concepts come through rather than the code syntax being like, oh, I don't know the syntax. I was kind of an early reviewer for refactoring UI, so I guess I read that since I read it. And I liked that book a lot. And then another one I didn't get to finish all the way, but I started, was It Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work by the
I forgot about that one.
and Jason Fried.
Yeah, that was a really good one too. Yeah,
I've been sawing through that, which it's mostly a rehashing of things I've already read through their Twitter streams and, you know, Medium articles, but it's good to have like this consolidated tome of advice and an opinion on those subjects, because even though I don't really have like employees or a big business, and pretty much just me, it still can get pretty crazy at work, especially with the volume of support requests and different things I got to handle as a small business owner.
Side note, good use of the word tome. I've never used that word before. I didn't even know what it was. I had to look it up. That was solid. That was
Merry
solid
Christmas to you.
Thank you. I'm gonna start using that now.
So as far as movies, I struggled to even find any movies that I liked this year, but I did find them once I went through the IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes list. I guess I don't really have any favorites. Probably, well, I guess my favorite one of this year that I watched, several reasons, but Won't You Be My Neighbor, which is a documentary on Fred Rogers. I grew up with Fred Rogers, you know, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and all that, but also because I was having a panic attack on the airplane to Laracon AU, and that movie just totally chilled me out, you know. And so I was thankful for Fred Rogers once again, bringing some calm to my life.
We recently I started letting my kids watch like that, so they have it on PBS. They show like, you know, they have all the old episodes. My kids started watching that. They were like mesmerized. And it's incredible how much slower paced that show is than all the stuff that kids watch now.
Yeah.
If you watch Fred Rogers, it's literally like a single shot for like 5 minutes. Like he just goes like the one take wonder. Like he's the man. But like there's no camera switching. It's just his tone of voice is very calm, very soothing, like on purpose. It's paced. It's pretty incredible. You go back and watch it. You're like, and just contrast it with like what kids are watching today.
Yeah, it's like,
pretty amazing.
How
pretty
do
amazing.
you feel when other children are mean to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it make you feel good? You know, and it's like, wow, yeah, the kids really go and they think about it. Another good one, you know, is Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, which is the cartoon continuation of that universe.
We watch a lot of Daniel Tiger here.
Yeah.
Once my son
adults should.
Once
Yeah,
the
more
kids start
adults should
acting
watch
up.
Yes, my son watched it early on, and I don't think he's watched it for probably 2 years now, and he still walks around the house like singing some of the different songs.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that sticks, and something that we reference, like if he's like really upset and like throwing a fit or something, like we'll kind of like bring up the song that goes along with that lesson from Daniel Tiger, and he's like, oh yeah, I need to chill out.
When you're feeling
Grown-ups come back. They got all of them, man.
Yes.
There's a
it got
Daniel
bad
Tiger song
when-
for every situation.
That's true. I think that's true. But it got bad when I started like rewriting the lyrics to those songs. Like some grown-ups smoke crack. That's one of my favorite ones. You know, it's true, but not necessarily helpful.
Some grown
Right.
ups smoke crack. Yeah, sure, that
Yeah.
works.
I guess other movies. I liked Infinity War. I want to know what happens. Enjoyed Smallfoot.
Oh yeah, that was a great movie.
It was a sleeper, but it was a good one. Another one I'm gonna put on here, even though I'm not really big into horror movies, is The Nun. Scared the bejesus out of me, and I don't really
watch that now.
I don't really care, but that one was like, I don't know if it's a combination of like I was sitting right in the center of the movie theater. It was really loud, and there was just like enough jump scares, but also it was just like creepy underneath. Yeah, and then Ralph breaks the internet.
Was it gory? Was The Nun gory?
No, not at all.
Because I hate I hate horror movies that are like absolutely just like a gore fest and like how much can you take kind of thing, like Saw 7 or whatever, like all the Saw movies after pretty much 2.
Yeah. Final Destination.
Right. Yeah. But like I can get into
melting.
ones that are like, yeah, like thriller sort of like horror movies. I can get into that.
The Nun is definitely like supernatural scare. And there's I think there's some violence, but it's not like rip someone's face off, or not like what's that movie with the alien inside of Antarctica?
The Blob.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one's creepy.
Ooh, that's scary. But this one's legit, like just scary. Like somebody, I guess it doesn't matter. They're like, trying to find this evil spirit, and all of a sudden, this guy winds up in like underground, like buried underground by this evil spirit. And it's just like, it's like so creepy how they did it, and kind of believable. But yeah, scary
not for me. No, thank you.
Ralph Breaks the Internet was awesome though. There's lots of.
You should go for that, Michael. All right, Michael, you're last on the list here.
Last. Yeah, so Refactoring UI is the only real book that I read. Most of my book reading has been stories for Eli. So we do the thing every night when it's bedtime. We read a story. So lots of Harry McClary, and we've just got some Dr. Seuss books for Christmas. So they're Dr. Seuss books are hard to read. They're tongue twisters for sure.
Yep.
Very cranky bear, the very hungry bear, the very noisy bear. If you do have young kids, refound these. There's a whole bunch of like you can do personalized books, which you can like put your child's name in. And one we got is it's called Petlandia, and that's like your pet. You put your pet. So Sheldon's in there. And Sheldon wants to be rich and famous, and he goes to Hollywood and becomes a big star. But then he like gets sad that he's all alone because he's rich, but he's got no friends, and he wants to come back to Elijah. So that was really, really good. There's also The Little Boy Who Lost His Name and The Wondrous Road Ahead. The Wondrous Road Ahead, I almost made it to the end without crying. So,
oh no.
It's really, we talked about this on, I think, our last episode, Jake, where it's something, there's a switch that flicks and just turns you into a big
baby.
Big softy when you become a parent. So, yeah, they're really good. It's just fun to read and to like really get into the stories and really put on the different voices and things like that. So, And then some nights I'm just fighting with Eli because Eli wants to read, so he's just sitting there going blah blah blah, blah. So it's a lot of fun. But I also got this book of dad jokes because I mean that's obviously important. And
Awesome.
I will probably read. It doesn't have to be crazy at work at some point. I got about halfway through the Poodle book as well this year before Eli was born, and well, then Eli was born. So
nice, dude. I was trying to remember what the movie was that I watched that like I was, like that was specific to what you were talking about, like as a parent, like, and I think it was The Grinch.
yeah.
I watched The Grinch this year, which was really, really good too. And I was almost a mess a couple times in this movie. That movie was just so silly, but it's totally like the dad thing.
Yeah. One that always gets me is The Ranch on Netflix with Ashton Kutcher. And it did have Danny Masterson on it, but he was written out of the show because of some alleged incident that happened 15 years ago. So that one always gets me. It's like a comedy, but it hits close to home for me. Not that I live on a ranch or anything like that, but so yeah, most of what we do, like, because we don't really have time to sit and watch too many movies now, especially with Eli's 30-minute naps. So we've been watching Great News on Netflix lately, which is a Tina Fey, 30 Rock. We've been going through things like that. We did see Black Panther was really good. I enjoyed that. Infinity War was good, and we just saw Aquaman. And for some reason, they call him Aquaman, which I think is kind of weird instead of Aquaman, but Aquaman.
It's Aquaman, dude.
Aquaman.
It's you know why they call him Aquaman? It's because he's a superhero from America, not from Australia.
Sure.
Yeah.
So would they say it correct? Aquaman.
Aqua. That's not how you say aqua, though, is it? Surely you go to the
Oh,
aquarium.
no,
you
we
don't go
don't
to the
say aqua.
aquarium.
In Spanish, it's agua.
Aguavan.
Aquarium.
Aquarium.
You're right about that. Aquarium. Aqua.
Yeah.
Aqua.
So I don't understand
Aqua.
how you get Aquaman, but you say aquarium.
Aquarium.
Screw you.
Aquarium. That sounds
Screw
fine.
you and your inconsistencies.
You want to?
Hey, I'm not saying it's right. I'm only saying it's better.
That's right. Boom.
Would you like a water themed dad joke? I'm stealing.
Yes.
I'm stealing from
Please.
Dads and Dev. What do you get if you cross a banker with a fish? A loan shark.
Nice. There you go. But okay, guys, we're gonna wrap this up because I know like some of you guys, it's like practically 2 a.m. We are currently at 1 hour and 12 minutes, and I'm guessing most people have stopped listening by now, so that's okay. Why don't we hit everybody with one piece of Christmas trivia question, see who answers correctly, and then we'll wrap this thing and call it a year.
Do it.
All right. Sounds good.
Good? All right, we're gonna start with Andrew. Andrew's the most.
Dang. Chestnuts roasting on an open.
Kill it, Andrew. You got it.
Yes.
Okay. So TJ sent me this list of all these crazy questions here. So I'm going to try and find ones that sound like reasonable, that you may know, but we'll see. Okay. So here is question number 1 for Andrew. Here is your question. In the song 12 Days of Christmas, what is given on the 7th day?
Oh, gosh.
Because his daughter sings it so funnily.
$2 dudes or $2 taller dudes.
Oh, so funny.
Oh my gosh. It's almost like anytime I listen to that song, it's like the last or the first 3 because you count them down, right?
Right, exactly.
Yes, it's like
5 golden rings.
Yeah, 5 golden rings down. I really don't know. That sounds so terrible. I don't even think I listened to that this year.
David's trying to give you a
snake.
Here.
7 snakes.
7 C's.
7 snakes.
7 swimming.
Swans swimming. Swans swimming.
Oh, swans.
Did you say swimmers swimming?
Yeah, what else
Have you
swims?
ever heard swimmers swimming in the song Days of Christmas?
Maybe in Australia where it's the middle of summer during Christmas.
Yeah, that's funny.
Aquaman.
Yep.
Aquaman, that's the answer. 7 Aquamans.
Yep. 7 Aquamans. All right, Andrew, I'm sorry. You did not get your Christmas trivia.
Nope.
You're out.
All right, you're out. Okay.
What's the answer?
7 swans of swimming.
Swans.
7 swans are swimming.
Swans of swimming.
Swans
Okay.
swim? I thought they had wings.
Well, they also swim in the water.
They float in the water and they paddle with their feet like
Right.
ducks.
That's what they
don't
call
swim.
that swimming, I guess.
You know, no.
Do you have to be
No.
underwater to be swimming, Andrew?
Yes. Hey, if you're on a floating device, right, and you're paddling around with your feet, are you swimming?
Yes.
Well, technically, are they on a floating device? They're on their body.
Their
So
body,
if
they're
Water
sealed tight, dude. They're
How
tighter
do
than a
you
frog's
swim?
butt.
Exactly, Andrew. Like, do you not get into the pool and you float atop the surface of the water whilst
And you call
flailing
it-
your arms and legs?
I go down to the bottom, bro. Hold my breath
Not
and go.
freestyle on the bottom.
It's all those
Okay.
it's all those muscles from bench pressing
Aquaman.
Jake so much.
That's right.
Aquaman goes on the bottom.
God.
I like how we just tied in like 3 things right there. Aqua.
Aquaman.
Okay.
All right, Chris,
Yeah, all right,
you are up.
just that's-
Here's your question. Chris, in what country did the custom of putting up a Christmas tree originate?
I have no idea.
All right.
Got a 1 in 152 or whatever chance of getting this right.
To narrow it down, it's like it's in the European area.
95 countries. 1 in 195.
Is that David? Angel? Something? Moose country? Like, I don't think that's in the EU. no.
That's what it is.
European. You've got 1 in 50 chance now.
Here we go. This is
Oh,
better.
is that devil horns?
No. Well, I mean,
Antlers? Is
try it like this.
that an elk?
It's not gonna work.
I'm trying to make a symbol with my fingers.
Whoa, don't do,
Um,
whoa. You can't make that symbol.
I'm with you, David. I got that.
I have no idea.
We're gonna get killed.
Anybody want to take? Anybody want to take a guess?
Is it a guess if I know it?
Tell me,
Just
David.
go
what is
for
it?
it, man.
It's like Vikings, right? The Scandinavians.
Close. It's Germany.
Yeah, that's
Germany.
what- Yeah, it was
We should
Scandinavian.
put
back
trees
then.
up. Why are we following things that the Germans are doing?
It's true. I don't know.
I'm
Okay.
half German.
You're half German.
My
I
dad
think
was
I'm
born in
half
Germany.
And,
Yeah.
and you follow me on Twitter, so quiet. Just kidding.
I guess it'd be like Estonians, sort of Germans.
Okay. Here we go. David, you are up.
Oh boy.
So this one's sort of like going to be a guess for you, probably, because I doubt there's any way you could know this.
Okay.
How tall, plus or minus 25 feet? So I'm going to give you a barrier there. All right. So I'm going to give you a little padding. How tall, plus or minus 25 feet, was the tallest cut Christmas tree?
Hmm.
Are you laughing at Andrew?
Yeah.
We're reading about swans.
I'm learning all kinds of stuff about swans here.
Like they can die of heartbreak.
They can die of heartbreak, and they swim. I say they float with one leg behind their back, and they use one leg to swim somehow. I don't know.
That's weird.
Sorry. Yeah, that's really weird. But they can die of heartbreak. All right, David. Well, yeah, your turn.
What do you got?
I relate,
Tallest
bro.
Christmas tree.
I relate to those swans. 200 feet.
Boom, you got it. It was 221 feet. So you were
Yep.
you were within the
Wow.
tolerance there. 221 feet. Holy cow! Can you
I
believe
did it
that?
because I've seen like 175 footer. It's like I
Yeah.
can't probably get much bigger than that, you know.
It was a Douglas fir, and it was put up in 1950 at the Northgate Shopping Center in Seattle, Washington. Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild. That is wild. Okay, Michael. Ooh, man. I'm gonna try and find a good one for you here. Oh, this is a good one. What is the most popular meal for Christmas in Japan?
In Japan, do they
This is
even
an
celebrate
interesting-
Christmas in Japan?
They do, and I will give you like a big hint here.
Okay,
It's like a fast food.
is it McDonald's?
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this one.
I'm not gonna tell you, but I'll let you think about it for a minute. Is McDonald's your guess?
Yeah.
Okay,
French
no.
fries?
The answer is no. It's not McDonald's.
It's
But
too obvious, but good thread.
yeah, anybody else know other than David what it is? No.
Nope.
Okay, David, hit us, enlighten us.
Wasn't it KFC? Like
You
it's-
got it. Yeah, it's a huge deal.
Really?
It's
Really?
a freaking huge
I
deal.
remember
Yeah.
that now. Yeah.
Fried chicken. Dude, like me
Right?
some fried chicken.
Weird.
So it's so popular you have to order in advance or stand in huge lines to get your Christmas fried chicken.
It's
Some people
so
even start
salty.
lining up Christmas Eve
It's
to get their
weird.
Christmas KFC. Isn't that weird?
It is weird. Why is it
It's like an
KFC?
actual. It's a deal though. It's a big deal. Yeah.
I
Odd.
feel bad for them.
That's like their
I-
life joy at Christmas.
Yeah, I've got a thing about KFC. I don't know what it is that makes this
Oh, I
happen, but it's the one fast food that I throw up every single time I eat it.
That means
Oh,
that means
KFC.
you don't put on any weight. No calories.
Yeah.
You get
That's-
all of the
everybody does that.
enjoyment and none of the calories.
Everybody does that. It's great.
Well, I guess we shouldn't make fun of disease.
No, I'm not making fun, but
No. From
I
December
recant that.
1974, KFC Japan began to promote fried chicken as a Christmas meal with its long-running Kentucky for Christmas
Clever.
advertising
You
campaign.
know what I was thinking about the
Wild.
other day? Was like, how is it that Coke got associated with like Christmas? Like, totally
Santa
different
bears.
marketing.
Because it's the same colors that Santa wears. That's
Yep,
obvious.
that's why. But like, they're genius to do it. Like, everybody thinks of Coke at Christmas time. It's just, genius marketing. Like, it doesn't go with anything that you'd be eating. Like, who's eating like
a
Christmas
polar bear, bro.
Yeah.
like Coke? But whatever.
I went for a Christmas lunch this year and I picked up what I thought was Coke. It looked like a bottle of Coca-Cola. And it was not until the swill reached my tongue that I realized I had been fooled into drinking some off-brand generic cola.
The Coke cans right now look weird for Christmas, I feel like. Have you guys seen them? They look odd. Oh well. Anyway, TJ, here's your question. I've got an option for you. I've got two options for you, okay? Because one of them may be they're both sort of obscure, but I'll give you two options here, okay? What country is the poinsettia? You know what a poinsettia is?
Yeah.
Yeah. What country is it native to? So that's question option number one. So you can try that one. Or, yeah, well, so yeah, I'll give you a chance. And if you don't get that one right, then I'll give you another one.
I can give you a hint.
Go
Oh,
ahead,
yeah?
Mike.
Give me a hint.
There's a big building project going up for that country. They're doing like I'm pretty sure they're paying for it.
That doesn't really help me at all.
Think about it on a more ironic level.
It's like a national infrastructure project.
Yeah.
We're not sure who's paying for it yet.
Yeah, I think GoFundMe's paying for it at this stage.
We're trying to get them to pay for it.
They're shutting everything down to make sure that it happens.
Let me put it more clearly.
Brazil. No.
Hola, senor.
Really,
pretty sure it was
Mexico?
Yeah, it was
Mexico.
a pretty big election push, that one.
It was.
I mean,
It was.
yeah, still.
Poinsettia, native to Mexico. Okay, here's the bonus question because I don't have a question because I'm looking at all of them. This is for anybody. First person to buzz in gets this one. Okay. What old Christmas tradition signals to people passing by that the residents of a house are Christian? What old Christmas tradition signals to people
Candle in the
passing
window.
by? You got it.
Grief.
Boom.
Yep.
Oh,
Candle in the window.
Candle in the window.
It's not very traditional. I'd use like the blood of a slaughtered lamb.
That's
That was
Passover.
Buddy.
Christian.
Look at Hemphill showing off his guns there.
I know, I like
Well
this
done, Hemphill.
fish I can.
Ooh. That's his victory pose.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
gents.
Last longer.
It has been another amazing. I'm gonna get the name right here. It has been another amazing. Oh, hold on for it. Wait for it.
He's
Third
gotta scroll through over talks.
meets Dads and Dev meets TJ Miller meets Chris Gmyr Belated Christmas Extravaganza podcast. It has been a fun one, my friends. It's been great catching up with all of you. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. I think this will probably be put out on the North Meets South podcast as well as the Dads and Dev podcast. So if you want show notes for it, go find them. I'm not going to say what they are here. Rate up our podcasts. Get TJ and Chris to do a podcast if you can. Harass them on Twitter. Reach out to all of us. Send us any feedback you have, any hate mail. Send to Michael in Australia. You won't get it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Any final thoughts, guys?
It's been a pleasure. This year has been awesome. Thank you so much for being friends, and especially this time of looking for work and everything. You guys were super helpful. So
anytime. I would expect nothing less from the rest of you for me or for any of us. We're all here for each other.
Absolutely.
Yep.
This is for all of you who don't know, this is the secret. Well, should I even reveal it? This is the secret Cash Money group here, right here. All 6 of us. This is the Cash Money group.
This is the real Laravel Elite.
Yep, this is the real Laravel Elite, started by Mr. Hemphill himself.
Don't you ever forget.
Yeah, it's been a good one, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful new year. Have a great holiday season. Hope this podcast finds you well, and we wish you good luck in the year to come. Thanks, everyone.
See you.
bye-bye.
All right.